Most guitarists think they need to push harder to get a better sound. Really, they haven't mastered the G.R.A.P.H method. In 20 years of teaching, I've found that every student struggling with wrist pain or speed issues is actually suffering from one of 5 left-hand problems. I did too. Today I'm going to show you the system that I use to solve that step by step. Try this with me if you have your guitar. Play a note with your weakest finger, it's probably your pinky, and start releasing pressure until you hear a light buzz, then stop. I want you to add that pressure back, but not with your fingertip. Try to lean in with your elbow or your wrist, or maybe pull your entire hand back toward the guitar. Most people only know one way to put pressure on a note, but by the end of this lesson, you'll know all of them with the G.R.A.P.H method. G moves the guitar into a position that puts you in control. R balances your arm so that the fingers don't have to reach so far. A angles your knuckles so that the pinky gets stronger instantly. P teaches you the minimum pressure that you need for a clean note. And H hovers your hand one note ahead so that you're always there and ready when it's time to play. So let's set up that guitar. If you're hunched over, leaning forward, reaching your wrist out, you're not in control, the guitar is. Start by bringing the neck in and up. If you just do a bicep curl with your left hand, you're going to find the natural range of motion for your hand. The closer you bring the guitar to that location, the less work your hand has to do. This should really relax your whole body. Make sure that your shoulders aren't hunched, your back isn't slouching. This is the #1 step that students skip, but it's the foundation for everything else. I've watched dozens of master classes by William Canning-Geiser, Scott Tennant, and other fantastic players and teachers. And I've been shocked at how many times they spend the first half of the lesson correcting a student's posture because it's just not right. All the speed burst exercises in the world aren't going to fix your scales if you haven't fixed your posture first. To make this consistent, I usually recommend playing with an adjustable strap. You can usually get a higher position and a better neck angle, and you don't need to worry so much about holding the guitar still. It also keeps the feeling similar between playing seated and standing up. So if you practice sitting down without a strap, but then you go to play standing up and it feels off, that's because the neck is different. I'll show you some other support options on screen now too. By the way, if you want to buy a strap, a footstool, or any other equipment, I've got recommendations to my favorites down in the description. They're Amazon affiliate links, which means that if you buy through them, Amazon might give me a small commission at no extra cost to you. Once your guitar is set up, you can focus on your fingers. If you avoid using your pinky or you find that one side of your hand's comfortable and the other's clumsy, this is the fix. Start by putting all 4 left-hand fingers on one string, on 4 adjacent frets. If some are curled and some are straight, you're reaching too much. If your fingers point off to the left or right, your hand is out of balance. But we can use the weight of the elbow, the wrist, and the hand to fix that. Make sure you're playing on your fingertips, not the flat pads. Put your thumb flat on the back of the guitar, roughly behind the middle finger. It'll be opposite your other fingers like you're holding a bowling ball. It's not on the side, it's not on the tip, it's there to support the other fingers. Curled fingers against a flat thumb. Okay, we had to set that up first, but the thing that's really going to help your reach is your elbow and your wrist. You can actually lean in to get more support onto your fingers. If I lean my elbow out to the left, you'll see that my pinky has to stretch a lot further. If I lean it in, I get to put a lot of weight behind that pinky there. If I go too far, it's going to pull my pointer finger out of balance, so I'm really looking for a spot that I can feel all of this. But when I lean into a large stretch, I'm looking to find a spot where each finger can be equally far away from its destination. Now your hand's supported, but that's a waste unless we actually use it to help your fingers. We're going to do that by focusing on 2 angles, your knuckles and your fingertips. Let's start with the angle of the knuckles. They should be roughly parallel with the neck of the guitar. If I grab with my thumb and pointer and my pinky knuckle is far away from the guitar, the pinky has a much harder time playing. If I rotate my elbow and wrist a bit to the right and line up my knuckles with the guitar, my pinky will be closer and have more weight behind it. That means you don't have to push as hard. You also save energy when you're playing on your fingertips. I mentioned that before, but let's go a little deeper. When you lay your fingers flat and play on the pad, your energy gets spread across that whole area. That means you have to push much harder to get the note to sound. Instead, you want the tip joint to point straight into the guitar perpendicular to the fretboard. The moment you do this, you'll probably find that the weight of your hand is pushing the string for you. When your hand's properly balanced, the middle and ring fingers should point straight out away from the fretboard. The pointer should angle slightly to the left, and the pinky should point substantially to the right, making contact well off center of the finger, closer to the corner. If you have calluses from playing, you can actually see on your fingers where you usually contact the guitar. I should mention now that some of the parts of this technique are really most for when you're playing single note lines like melodies or solos. If you're doing chords, the principles still apply, but you're usually going to center your hand around the notes of that particular chord. I talk about that a lot in my chord switching video, which I'm linking on screen now. It's also worth noting that the positions we learn in the reach and angle phases can change situationally. If you're bending a note, you might twist your hand to give it some more oomph. That's a technical term, of course. Or if you're high up on the neck and your hand is close to the body, you might bring your thumb over the top of the guitar to keep the wrist relaxed. But even if your positioning changes, these principles still apply. 1. Your thumb is there to support the fingers wherever they might be. 2. Comfort in your fingers starts all the way back in your arm. Let the elbow and the wrist share the work. 3. Your fingers should stay balanced and close to where they're playing. You're allowed to make changes based on what the moment needs. If you understand how the mechanics work, you'll be able to make the decision at the right moment. Quick story time. When I was in high school, I got to go to a guitar workshop one summer, and I remember seeing this incredible teacher give a presentation on advanced picking techniques. There was a student in the class that we all called Old Dude because we were high schoolers and he was, well, I guess my age. Don't want to think about that too much. But he raised his hand and he was upset with the teacher because the teacher had put his thumb over top of the guitar. And he had learned in lessons that you never ever do that. He left angry and missed out on the best lesson we had had the entire day. What Old Dude didn't understand was that he was playing on a classical guitar that has a thick neck and a totally different sitting position. And in his world, it's true, you don't put the thumb over the top. But that was a totally different situation for our teacher who was playing really high up on the board and was actually using his thumb to leverage the fingers and make them do less work. When you understand these techniques, they're not restrictions, they're freedom. Liberty, not limits. Now, the biggest freedom comes when we focus on pressure. Without this, you'll still push way too hard and get way too tired. Try this with me. Put your fingers back on the strings on 4 adjacent frets. Put them there, but don't actually press down yet. Slowly start to apply pressure with one finger until you just barely start to feel a buzz. And then push a tiny bit farther until the note stays clean. That's all the more pressure you need to use. If that's lighter than you usually press, tell me down in the comments. Now do that same exercise for every other finger. You can do this as a warm-up every day with any frets you want, or you can do this with every note in a solo or a melody that you're already working on. The more you remind your fingers of this pressure, the more you'll internalize it. Okay, now do the opposite. Push really hard with one of your fingers, and you'll probably see the other ones bounce out. When you play a note, you might be over-tensing your whole hand without even realizing it. When you press lighter, you gain speed too. You don't need to push as far to activate the note, and you don't need to release as far to relax the note. Your other fingers can also stay close by and get there sooner. Once I got to play in a master class for David Russell. He's one of the best classical guitarists in the entire last century. He talked about his morning warm-up routine, and he does exactly this exercise. He spends a couple minutes just getting used to pressing as lightly as he possibly can. He described it as re-meeting the guitar for the first time. This diligence is what makes the great guitar players truly great. They focus on the fundamentals until they're perfect. But even with a light touch, your playing is still going to be slow and unpredictable unless you master this last step. By the way, if you've been getting value out of this video, would you consider liking and subscribing? I'm trying to hit 1,500 subscribers, and every bit helps. Okay, this last step is the single most important part of the process, and I hardly hear anybody talking about this. Every time you play a note, your next finger should be hovering over the note that's about to play. If I took a picture of your hand playing note 1, I should still be able to see where you're about to go for note 2. If you watched my fingerpicking video, I'll link it here, we talked about planting. That's how each finger would work one note ahead to make sure that it's actually already on the string when it's time to play. This hovering is the left-hand version of that. It's kind of dynamic since the place you're hovering depends on where you're going to go next. But a good neutral playing position is to line up on 4 adjacent frets and assign one finger to each fret. If a passage uses the same fret on different strings over and over, you can use 2 different fingers to break up the work. But this position is home base, kind of like the home row when you're typing. If you've ever practiced a part over and over and you keep hitting the wrong strings or your finger just doesn't always hit the right fret, you need to hover. It's about working ahead so that when it's time to play, you're already set up. Just like with the other exercises, you can start applying this to anything you're already playing, but I really recommend that you try it with something that's easy for you, where you have some extra energy left to give. That's why so many professionals are constantly practicing scales. Andre Segovia once said that if he only had 2 hours a day to practice, I know, wouldn't that be great? He would spend 2 hours practicing scales. It's not about learning more notes. It's about taking something that's easy for you and using it to practice something else. If you really work on these 5 points of the G.R.A.P.H method, your hand is going to feel so relaxed, so comfortable, so effortless, but it can be a lot to focus on. Take your time, and every time you pick up the guitar to practice, choose one more thing to focus on. Look for slow, consistent progress. If you're ready for more systems that lead to mastery, check out one of these videos on screen, and I'll see you there.